And before I forget, none of you are really going to understand this, but Mary, you are the coolest person ever, because you don't know anything about Transformers and you watch my reviews anyway, and then the next day I see you and you quote what I say to me, and I think that's awesome. So Mary, thank you for watching my videos. You're really cool. Hey guys, back again. Obviously this isn't one of my main series reviews, but another Spotlight review. And this Wednesday I did pick up Spotlight Drift, so I'll be reviewing this today. I'm already going to throw it out there. I know that my opinion is going to be a little bit different than some of the other stuff I've seen out there. I am looking at you, G-Wolf V2. I actually really liked this. Okay, so Spotlight Drift. So I guess to start off I just have to say that I have the Casey Kohler cover. I mean, it's a decent cover. There's nothing that I'm like, whoa, this is an awesome cover or anything, but it's really nice. It's just Drift, and he's looking pretty cool. I think this is kind of like what he does in his spare time, is stand and pose. Now, this issue was written by Shane McCarthy, so, you know, our current writer of All Hail Megatron, and the art is by Casey Kohler. And the colors in this, and I have to comment on the colors because they're absolutely beautiful, are done by Joanna Lafuente. Horrible with names, again. But so yeah, love the colors in this. This issue is most certainly before All Hail Megatron starts, probably right before, since it shows how Drift gets introduced to Cup's team. Really, this issue could be at the same time as Spotlight Jazz for all we know. I mean, there's nothing to say that it is or it isn't, but that'd be kind of cool to think that they're both happening at the same time, so I don't know. So the issue starts out, and we're looking at some alien race that I personally have never seen before. I don't really know who they are. And we see this alien lady person giving access cards or access keys or something to this figure who is completely covered by cloth and such, so we don't really know what this person looks like. And she comments that his ship is Cybertronian. And it is within these like first 3 pages that I fell in love with this issue, because one of these grunt people that are with this alien lady person, you know, says Cybertronians, death to a lot of them, and you find out that basically all other races that know about the Cybertronians, like, don't like them at all. Why? Because they're going through a horrible war, and everywhere they go, the war follows them, and they just bring death and destruction. And I just love how this issue brings up the fact that there are other alien races out there, and the Cybertronian war is affecting them. I think it is awesome that we are getting to see their war on this, like, galactic scale and how it's affecting all these other races, not just, you know, the humans that have no idea about anything, which is funny, because, of course, Earth never knows about any alien races, but the alien races all know about each other. And then so this alien lady person is going to say goodbye to this hooded figure that she's speaking to and goes to grab his arm and quickly reels back and says, "You're one of them." And then he's just like, again, I just, you know, thanks, and he leaves. And the hooded figure steps outside to this beautiful page. I have to say the coloring and artwork in this is absolutely fantastic. And as our hooded figure is looking towards the sky, I'm guessing he's looking at the Decepticon ship and not like at a bird or something. His mask falls and we see that it is indeed Drift. If any of you were surprised or are surprised, yeah, it's called Spotlight Drift, so it's not really a surprise. And Drift throws away his cloak, clothing, hooded thing, and jumps aboard the Decepticon ship. And I think this is really funny. I don't know, it just kind of looks like he's like waving at us, like, hey, I'm going into the ship. Hey, bye. So Drift is kind of hiding out in the shadows of the Decepticon ship, spying on some Decepticons, don't know what he's about to do, when all of a sudden an entire wall explodes. So we see that the wall was kindly blown up by Cup's team, and obviously that's made up of Cup and that stupid cigar that I hate so much, Springer, Roadbuster, Old Perceptor. Since this happens before All Hail Megatron, this also happens before Perceptor becomes like the totally awesome sniper that he is, and Twin Twist, who I don't think that we have seen since Spotlight Sideswipe, so nice to see him back. So then we get introduced to a brand new Decepticon. At first I thought it was Soundwave, but but it's not Soundwave. That would be silly. It is actually Turmoil, who is this very big Soundwave-looking guy. And so then, obviously, some little Decepticon scout guy is like, our ship's being attacked, they exploded our wall, I don't know what to do, Turmoil, do something. So then we go back to the Autobots, who are obviously fighting off the Decepticons in this ship, and Drift just, like, jumps in there and starts fighting along with him, and Springer's like, who's that guy? And, he mentions, does that sword in his back look familiar to you? And Kup kind of starts putting things together. But then Perceptor jumps in and he's like, oh, the technology that you've been upgraded with is nothing like I've ever seen before, and blah, blah, blah. And Kup kind of, moves Perceptor aside and tells Drift that he should probably come with them, and they're going to have a talk once this is all over. And Drift's like, no, I'm pretty sure that I can lead, because I'm here for the same reasons that you are, and I can take you right to them. And what he means is he can take them to the captured Autobots. And we see that they're rescuing, Blaster and Blur and Topspin, and Perceptor, who is standing and trying to lock down the door, realizes that the Decepticons have actually arrived, and as he goes to put more locks on, gets shot through the chest, like, not looking awesome. So then, of course, Turmoil and his, Genericons come in and start trying to take out the Autobots, and Drift jumps forward to try to get Perceptor, and this is actually pretty interesting. It says in the blurb at the beginning of this issue that Drift doesn't use any guns. He's kind of anti-guns and anti-blasters, and he will only use his sword, so he can really only do kind of close combat stuff, so he's stuck getting close to them anyway. But as he's going to get Perceptor, he's blasted back, and Turmoil stops him and says, I know your voice, you must be Deadlock. And Turmoil points out that Drift, or Deadlock it seems, was a Decepticon traitor. And then Turmoil blasts through a wall, and Kup and Drift kind of just fall in. And of course, after they fall in, Kup's cigar thing falls on the ground. He just brushes it off and puts it back in his mouth. I hate that cigar. But as they're down in this random room for, like, forever, Kup and Drift, or Deadlock, have a interesting conversation where we realize that there's actually kind of a third faction of Cybertronians, but also kind of not a faction. It's basically the Cybertronians who didn't agree with the war, and it seems that Deadlock, or Drift, or whatever, used to be a Decepticon who actually killed quite a few Autobots, and then finally realized that he didn't really like all this killing, and he didn't agree with the war, so he just kind of left. And as they're talking, Kup makes an interesting point about Perceptor, because he's just kind of talking about, that bot you tried to save back there, and it's just kind of a nice, throwback. Kup mentions that Perceptor kind of made him better than his old self, and I'm guessing they're referring to in Spotlight Kup, where Kup was not so awesome in the brain. He was kind of insane and killing a bunch of people. So I'm guessing that that's what they're referring to, is Perceptor kind of fixing Kup after that incident, so that's kind of a nice little throwback there.